Folks, how's everybody doing today? Today I'm going to have more of a financial, real conversation based on the state of 2021, which is that collectibles are very, very expensive. Inflation is a real thing. No matter what the government says, no matter what anyone tells you, if the price of everything goes to the moon and you just turn around and say, there's no inflation, somebody's clearly lying. So I want to acknowledge and discuss a topic that I get asked all the time, especially from younger individuals and new people to the hobby of collectibles. Whether they're talking about real estate, stocks, bonds, cryptos, maybe they're into just any form of collectible. And whether it's a single little card in any card game or a sealed product of any game, or they're trying to flip things, whatever it is, the same principles apply. And that is, people are nervous to buy in because they see the high prices. They see the charts online of a stock or a bond or a crypto and everything's so high. And people are always afraid about, well, I don't want to buy now. The easy money's been made. I don't want to buy at the top because I'm going to ride it all the way down. Well, Rudy, Magic cards, the old Four Horsemen sets and Alpha ABU have gone up so much, only a Timmy would buy at today's prices. And let me explain the concept about timing the market and about capturing market share in a different kind of weird lingo. And that is, you need to understand and accept a few principles of this world, everybody. And these principles are, you will never get the best price. You will never get the entry point that makes you feel perfect, comfortable, and like 100% you did the right thing. If you did, you either got one of two problems. A, you're overly confident and cocky that you know what you're doing and you're going to get hosed. Or B, simply put, you're just lying to yourself. And there's no perfect cost basis. There's no perfect time to buy. There's no perfect. You will never get the cheapest stock price on the dip. You will never sell at the tippy top of whatever the, cryptocurrency or stock price or whatever the market swing or whatever the box of cards. You will never get the perfect number. And that is a Timmy fallacy that new people fall for all the time. And that kind of fear and anxiety leaves those people kind of in the dust. They get left behind. They don't, it's a term I like to call analysis paralysis. And it's a slang term used when so many people out there, like we talked about in the other videos, everybody's looking for that feedback loop. They want that confirmation. They want, Rudy, I'm thinking about investing in Bazaar Baghdad, Arabian Nights. Let me go online, beep, boop, 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 beep, beep, and let me see if there's other people that agree with me that I'm buying a good price. Wait, no, Rudy, I'm interested in this new crypto called the Rudy coin. And the Rudy coin is only a millionth of a penny. And I'm going to go to the moon with it. I'm going to go online and tell other people. Everybody's looking for some sort of confirmation or feedback or a similar opinion to reinforce they know what the hell they're talking about. The real world doesn't work that way. If you need to understand, you cannot time life. Life has its own plans. It's our job as myself, you all watching, and everybody who's alive to try to navigate it the best we can. And this is something that, I want to spend more time talking to everybody about. I got more whiteboard videos coming, I promise. I'm sorry, everybody. And we need to talk more about just the concept, perspective, and money, and understanding the business and timing and buying and selling, because that's where people make their mistakes, because they just don't have anyone to have a real conversation to talk about this stuff. Because the more you break it down, the more critical thinking you can do, the more focus you can kind of zoom in and really focus on, the clearer these decisions become. I know it's cheesy sounding, it's cliche, but sometimes it takes a lot of time. I don't want to be, cliche sounding and meditation and zoning out, but many times it takes a lot of time and minutes and hours and days of focus to make the right decision or come to conclusions that may not seem obvious at first. So let's go back to the main topic now. People trying, Rudy, how do I know when to sell? I bought Kaldheim at 100. It's at 400. Should I run? Rudy, I bought the Rudy coin at 5 cents and it's at $1. Do I run? Rudy, I got a rental house. I only paid 200 grand for it. It's at 500 grand. Should I run? Here's the thing. Like I said, the objective of life when dealing with investments on any category, I don't care what the underlying item is, it's based on capturing a market share. capturing the chunks. I know it's stupid sounding, but just follow me. Because you cannot get angry at yourself for buying in too high. You can't get angry at yourself for selling too low. Because it's easy to look back at every chart in history on every house and crypto and stock and magic card to say, well, God, I should have bought that dip. Look at that spot. I should have just, look at the money I would have. That's human nature. That's the gambler's fallacy. It's called a fallacy because the brain looks at it and goes, ah. Oh. In the real world, that your brain is not looking at is you would have never captured that. You can't, it doesn't work that way. It's the same reason that people play the lottery over and over and lose their lottery tickets and their money for almost their entire life. And the same reason a person buys scratch-off tickets and tells you about every time they win the scratch-off ticket, but then hides every time they lose money on a scratch-off, and they don't tell you about it. So they skew the results by only disclosing the winning tickets and not disclosing the losing tickets. Well, on Alpha Timmy Emporium's investments, you guys have known many times, I've talked about all the things I've gotten right, and I've talked about the things I have just flipping dumpster fired of 2020 gotten wrong. You know, from the Volts back in the day when I didn't buy them, new Phyrexia when I didn't buy them, you know, original OG Zendikar with priceless treasures because I didn't want to pay $100 a box instead of $90. I ain't buying a pallet of original Zendikar for $100 a box. You know, you learn from your mistakes because you're never going to get them all right, okay? So this video is to tell you all, when you look at whatever you're looking to invest in, whether it's a house or an item or an equity or a card, you need to look at it correctly. And I feel we're in this time where people are losing sight of this. When in a world of Wall Street bets and rocket emojis and diamond hands and moonshots and all this stuff and, you know, doggy coins and Rudy coins and real estates to the moon and magic cards that are reserve lists are worth millions. And, you know, in this very weird era, I don't know when the tide will turn. The trend will eventually change. I've been on YouTube for 5 years. I've seen a bull market. I've seen crashes. I've seen it come back. I've seen the 2020, and then I've seen to the moon. I've seen it all. We've experienced all sides of the spectrum, and we've learned a lot from all sides. And today I'm here to tell you all, it's about capturing gains if you're trying to time the market. It doesn't matter if you're buying a magic card that's worth $100. Even if you pay $110 for the card, 10% over market price. If you believe the card's going to go to 200, if you pay $110 and you sell at $180, $190, you still captured a good amount of gain. You captured a good amount of that market chunk. And that's what it's about. And another question I'd like to address is people always say to me, Rudy, you know, I'm up so much on this new Digimon Final Fantasy Flesh and Blood MetaZoo Pikachu card. And I said, okay, well, how much are you up? Well, I got it from you for $300 and now it's $2,000. Okay, that's great. So do you want to lock it in? What are you going to do? You going to let it ride? Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. In the answer to that question, there is no finite answer. The answer to that question is not involving the asset. It's involving the owner of the asset and what else is happening in the ecosystem of that owner. And that's where Timmy's get it wrong. Because if you come to me and say, Rudy, I got this XYZ Pikachu card. It's worth 10 grand. I only paid $1,000. I'm up 10x. I said, it's amazing. It's great. Good for you. And Rudy, do I lock it in before it crashes? You know, you got that fear. The emotion starts kicking in. And I tell you the same thing I tell everybody. Well, let's say you lock it in today. You get your 10 grand, you walk away. What are you doing with the 10 grand? If you're going to throw it in a checking account and get 0%, then I don't think you should sell it. If you're going to lock in the 10 grand and pay off your student loans or credit cards or throw it into a mortgage that you're paying 5-6% interest on, I think you should lock in the gains. What you're going to understand is it's not about the underlying asset. It's about the individual who owns the asset and what's going on in their life. Maybe that individual has a pregnant wife, a pregnant girlfriend, and and that guy's supporting his wife's boyfriend. You don't know what's going on. Maybe that guy's got 3 goldfish, and the goldfish need fin surgery. And maybe something's going on, and they need the money. So if you need the money and you can lock in a substantial profit, well, then it all makes sense. But locking in profit just because you're up a lot, just to move it into something that's getting 0%, doesn't make sense. Because the money needs to work for you. The money needs to wake up every day and do something for you. If the money's waking up and sitting on the couch and watching Jerry Springer all day, there's no purpose of selling.